Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I'm Sovereign. Today we're back in Myth of Empires for a little bit of an update with the patch notes that are coming this evening, and there are heavy nerfs coming to proficiency gains for certain things on the similar lines of the getting rid of the blocking to level up your weapon proficiencies, etc. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of dropping the cheesiest guides out there. Now I've shown you sort of some ways of doing certain things, and I've shown you like simplistic ways of leveling without overly cheesing. Now I'm sitting here in my tank top wife beater. You're gonna have to deal with it. All the comments down below taking the piss out of it. I'm sweating my nuts off. I've actually just started breaking down everything in the flat, getting everything in boxes, making sure everything's spick and span and clean for when I move back to the UK on January 14th for a little while. So get all the laughing out down below. It doesn't bother me. It's fine. I'll deal with it. But anyway, if you do enjoy my videos, make sure to throw up a like, throw up a sub if you'd like to see more content on Myth of Empires. And if you'd like to support the channel, we do have a Patreon down in the description. Now, firstly, we're going to go over a little bit of the patch notes, some of the main points that are really like a little bit against what I would like for them to be doing. It's kind of unfair for certain groups of players to actually have this happen. And it's going to be even worse in the future, depending on what they do. If the game does come back up on Steam, which we're all hoping that it does, because this is an amazing game, even though there's a lot of people out there who think I'm actually just hating on the game and I'm doomsaying and blah blah blah. I'm not. I'm really hoping the game stays up. I'm really hoping it, because I'm enjoying everything about the game. I'm still playing the game every day, 8 hours, 9 hours a day, still making content for the game when I really don't have to. There are other avenues I can go, so bear that in mind. That just because I don't think it's going to go the way we want it to doesn't mean I'm hating on the game itself. And I will be showing you guys how to set up the actual racks so you can set them up before the downtime tonight, and hopefully it doesn't destroy them, but you'll have them ready and set and to go, so you are able to actually continue leveling your proficiencies to keep up with those guys like myself who are way up there on the proficiency levels on the official servers. Because I do find it unfair that newer players or players that aren't really following the meta as much as others, that are just enjoying themselves doing the stuff and they want to catch up and do some PvP, it's now going to be very difficult once they take this away. So I'll show you different sort of setups and builds of how it works, so you guys can build it before the server actually goes down. But anyway, I'm going to put up on the screen somewhere over here the list of some of the adjustments that they're making. Now, some of the bigger points on this list are the masonry arrow towers shall be crafted from the siege foundation instead of the advanced siege foundation. They've added a button to toggle show hide the item's weight in inventory. That's something that a lot of people complained about recently. They've adjusted an option on the watchtower's AI setting to attack moving siege weapons. They removed the time of lantern enders not firing crackers. They adjusted the space limit for placing the torture rack. Now this is the big thing. A lot of people are doing this in certain ways. Like, we'll have a look over here. They are putting their torture racks in 5, in 6, in 8, in 12, and whatever the hell they're doing. A lot of people are going over the top. You only really need 5 to 6. But if you go from left to right and place your torture racks down, and then you go, so you're going clockwise, make sure it's clockwise, because if you go anti-clockwise, you'll have an issue currently right now of placing them in this way. So you drop one, you just move over a little bit, drop the next one, move over a little bit, drop the next one, next one, next one, and you can do it across the board over here. Now basically you're just going to be getting gold and dragon border NPCs as high level as you can get. Stick them on the racks, get your weapon out. If you want to be leveling one hand, which this is the best way to level the one hand on these torture racks over here, you just hold down the number 4 while you're getting your sword out. I don't want to hit anything and break my sword if I can get my sword out. And you just hold 4 and it will hit all 5 at once. Now you'll gain proficiency for every hit. It doesn't matter what you hit, how much damage you hit for. So you can use skinning knives, stone hammers, whatever you fancy to level up your one hand. Now you can also level up the two hand and polearm in this setup. The polearm is a little bit finicky. You have to go off to the side and you hold down 8 and you'll do downwards motions. You can do the same with the polearm. Press 2 for a stabby stab motion. On the numpad, that is where I'm saying press the numbers, and you'll be able to hit all of them at once. But there is another method which I kind of screwed up because I went from right to left but like a noob. Basically you're going to have 4 going across one way, you're going to have 4 going across the other way. Now you're going to be placing these torture racks, you're going to be standing in between them and you'll be able to place them, but make sure you're starting from this side when you're doing the opposite. You'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with this, you can level up your two-handed with the hoe, and you just do the upwards down motion and it hits all 8 of them. This is the quickest way to level up your two-handed. And you can also do the stabby stab motion with the polearm and attack all 8 of them at the same time whilst using your blessings on the boundary marker. And that is basically how you set these up. So make sure to get these down before tonight's maintenance. Maybe they won't be destroyed and maybe you can hold them off and actually have these available for when everyone else, like, sort of, because there's going to be all the big major guilds that still have these in their bases. They're going to have all of these up all the time. Any new players that want to join their guild will come in, they'll be leveling up the proficiencies and you'll be left out in the cold. And I believe that's personally unfair and it's kind of a bad direction. If the game does go back up on Steam and they do sort of allow new players to come into the game, they will have to segregate the whole new player base. Otherwise, we're going to be running around without a full wipe, of course, running around just kicking the absolute crap out of everyone after the 30-day timer, because 30 days will not be enough to level up your weapon proficiencies, your any of those type of things, without the cheesiest of cheesy methods, the Gorgonzola farm, as I like to call it. This is the Gorgonzola factory. So make sure to get these up and running as quickly as possible to not fall behind in the proficiency gaining. Just my personal opinion. Now, another thing that they've added, which is number 7, which is reduce the drop rate of level 900 talent books. So that's going to be another way that people won't be able to catch up to the people that are already at the top. They've reduced the watchtower's bonus damage inflicted upon warriors to 2%, 1% for mounts and warriors respectively, and they increased the watchtower's basic damage. So they lowered the percentage a little bit, but it's still there, but it's still going to do a massive amount of damage, so don't worry about that. And now the damage of warriors assigned to the watchtower will be affected by their skill level of the wisdom talent. So you'll have to level up several of the proficiencies in the wisdom line to get their wisdom stats up. We can go into it over here. Go into like the wisdom stats over here. So you're looking at craft, siege, build, armor, and medicine. You will have to level all of these up on your NPC to get a higher amount of wisdom, which is up here, because it increases your siege weapon damage. They've also reduced the watchtower's max shooting range to 135 meters. They'll still be able to fire at different siege weapons as long as they're not the highest level siege weapons. It's close to the distance. I think the actual trebuchets are able to fire a little bit further than that, so they will still be able to attack outside of your range if you've got a long flat field outside of your base. They adjusted the effective range of simple ballista, heavy ballista, simple mangonel, and grape shot and trebuchet to 125 meters. Their damages plummet. So it actually says in the next line, they've actually adjusted the effective range to 125, so it's going to be less and lower than the watchtowers now. So forget what I just said. The watchtowers are now going to be shooting further than any of the actual siege weapons. So defense will be on the up and attacking will be a little bit more difficult. So when they shoot further than 135 meters, which they can do, it will plummet their damage. So they'll do less damage the further away they're shooting from. But basically all I really wanted to talk about today was the torture rack being deleted for the actual proficiency farm. The drop rate of 900 talent books are going to be disappearing. You'd get them from the Dragon Border level 60 NPCs and the level 60 treasure chests, and some of the changes to the actual siege damage and attacking and defending. It's going to be slightly better on the defensive side. And that's all we have for today. I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to like the video if you did enjoy it. If you want to subscribe to get some more Myth of Empires content every day, I do drop videos on Myth of Empires. Then make sure to subscribe. If you'd like to support myself and the channel, there is a Patreon down in the description. I want to thank all my YouTube members and Patreons for everything they're doing for me right now. It's really helping to get past this point where I've just got past losing the job, etc. And it's allowing me to able to carry on and make content exclusively without actually trying to find another job, which is amazing. So I can do this exclusively, and I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. And that's all we have. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.